Welcome back to the Kiwi Wedding Podcast. My name is Lydia and I am your host and wedding photographer based in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. Today on the podcast we have the lovely Liv Purdon. You may have seen her on her TikTok or Instagram. She's one of my faves to follow with all her fashion, foodie and lifestyle content. I will tag her so you can go and check out more of her content, and also she did quite a lot leading up to her wedding day with wedding content and vlogs, so go and have a look at that as well. Liv had a beautiful new Plymouth wedding. We chat through their love story, struggling to find the right venue in that region, planning a bit of a non-traditional wedding, having a small ceremony and a larger reception, making the day a reflection of them and not being influenced by others' opinions. We talk about how Liv had one dress but multiple different looks with that dress, dealing with rain on their wedding day, and so much more great advice and ideas. We also have a little chat about Liv's brand new brand that she has recently launched with her best friend, Toast Accessories. They are beautiful girly accessories and they launch with a range of hair claw clips which currently are sold out. They got snapped up very quickly, but definitely go and give them a follow so you can keep an eye out for their next drop, and I will tag all those details in as well. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at the Kiwi Wedding Podcast and jump over and see some photos from Liv's wedding there. Had such a lovely chat with her, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, number 32, with Liv. So hi Liv, thanks so much for coming on the podcast today. So excited to chat all about your wedding.
Yes, I'm so excited too. I haven't really talked to anyone about it after the wedding, so I can relive it a little bit.
So cool. You've done a lot of amazing content. I love following you, and I know a lot of people will have seen a lot, but yeah, so cool to chat to you about it now. So just to get started, if you can tell us a little bit about you and your partner and how you guys met in your life together.
So we met 8 years ago. We met in Auckland. My friend invited me to her friend's drinks, and I actually wasn't going to go because I needed a weekend off drinking because that was my party era. But then she said, "Oh, there's going to be two guys from New Plymouth," and I was getting pretty over the boys in Auckland, so I was like, "Oh, this spiked my interest a little bit." So I decided to go, and that's when I met Kyle. So I pretty much took one look at him and just liked him immediately, which is quite rare for me. Um, so I knew it could be something special. So yeah, that's essentially how we met. It was quite instant, which is yeah, it was very special.
Oh, so cool. Nice to meet in person as well. So many
Yeah,
meetings are online these days, which is a punish sometimes, but
I
yeah, to
know.
have a real life interaction.
I know. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, so good. So you dated for a while, and then, yeah, can you tell me a bit about the proposal story?
So we were going out 7 years. And then I think it was May last year he proposed. He organised this weekend away to car fair, which is sort of by Raglan. Um, and I kind of we'd been going out for so long, so I definitely had times where I'd got my hopes up before. So I was like, no, it's just like a weekend away. He's just being cute. Um, anyway, we there's like a really windy road into Kafia. So when we got there, I felt so sick. So I was like lying on the couch, and he's like was insisting on having a drink on the deck. There was this beautiful deck at where we were staying. Um, and I had this thought. I was like, imagine if he was going to propose and I was being annoying and saying, no, I don't want to drink. But again, didn't get my hopes up, but that just went through my head. So then I was like, fine, I'll have a drink. Um, and he was quite weird, like very quiet, which I thought was a bit strange. And then all of a sudden he goes inside and comes back out in a shirt. Like I'm in like a hoodie and leggings because we've been in a car. And he comes out in a shirt with his hands behind his back. And I knew immediately what was happening. Um, so I just started laughing because it was like quite funny and cute. And yeah, and we celebrated at this yeah, cute little batch and had some champagne, and he wanted to tell everyone immediately. Literally within 10 minutes. He's like, let's call everyone. So yeah, it was cool.
Oh, so special. Cute story. And yeah, I love that excitement. Just can't hold it back.
I
So
was like, maybe we should wait, like just like relish in the moment
good.
together. But he's like, nope.
And had you always been one of those girls that dreamed about your wedding, knew what you wanted, and yeah, what was like the vision and vibe in mind that yeah, how did you get that whole process started, choosing a venue, all of that?
Um, no, I don't think I'd ever had visions of what my wedding would be. But I definitely am quite a relaxed person. So I knew I wanted it to be as relaxed as it could be while still feeling like a wedding. But one thing very early on, because we had a summer of going to about 10 weddings. So I definitely got to see some things. They were all amazing, but I got to see some things that I would like personally for myself and things that I don't think would have suited me. So I realized quite quickly that I really wanted a small ceremony with just really, really, really close friends and close family. Um, so early on, that really relaxed me, having a small ceremony and a bigger reception, because the thought of walking down in front of 100 people saying my vows and all of that just gave me quite a lot of anxiety. And the one thing I didn't want was to have anxiety on my wedding day, because I'm not paying that much money to feel stressed and do something I don't want to do. So, yeah, I guess that was kind of, yeah, a very relaxed vibe for the wedding. Separate ceremony and reception was something we agreed on quite early. And then in terms of venues, it was quite hard because New Plymouth is so small. We decided we were going to have it here because the majority of our friends are from here. So it just felt right, like not to make everyone travel. Um, so it was really hard to find a venue because we thought about doing it at the same place, so having the ceremony and the reception in one place, but that just wasn't going to work on what we wanted it for. Because we decided also quite early on we weren't going to have a sit down dinner, so more of a reception that was a party essentially. But then we looked at a few restaurants and we found, like, one of our favorite restaurants here said that we could have the reception there. So um, yeah, that kind of sort of pulled it all together. Once we locked that in, everything sort of flowed from there. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's the big one, just to set the date and then get everything rolling. But yeah, I love that. That's a great tip about doing a smaller ceremony. Not everybody thinks to do that, but
I know.
I've chatted to a few brides or had some messaging me as well saying, can you talk to someone about how or even like a celebrant or something about the ceremony. I'm so nervous for it. It's giving me anxiety, or I've been like a socially anxious person and really worried about that part of the day. So, yeah, that's a great idea, just keeping it intimate, like your close people.
Yeah.
And what were the most important elements of the day for you, your top priorities when it came to like vendors, vibe, people, all of that?
Um, a top priority for me was definitely my dress, just because I wanted to feel, it wasn't about spending lots of money on it, but it was about feeling the best I could and comfortable. So that took a lot of my attention, but I am very quick at making decisions. I am a very decisive person. So um, once I made that decision, I felt quite good and was excited about wearing my dress, because I know that can cause people quite a lot of anxiety about how they're going to look on their day. So that was important for me to feel comfortable. And then probably the food and drink, I really didn't want to skimp on the quality or the quantity of food and drink. I wanted there to be heaps of food, and then unlimited drinks. So those were my top priority. Like, I'm a foodie at the end of the day, and I love cocktails and all of that. So yeah, we didn't skimp on that, um, which yeah was really important to me. So those are my top priorities, I think.
Nice, that's cool. And even though, yeah, you said you didn't have like a sit down dinner, you can still have heaps of food and drink and that party vibe. And yeah, people would eat enough that it's dinner anyway.
We got a lot of feedback that there was heaps of food, so that was good. We had kind of set out the menu, so it was like straight after we arrived at the reception, there was food. Then there was slightly bigger, like, portions of food. Then we had little like rice bowls and rolls, and then we had late night food, and then we had dessert. So it was like always coming. So yeah,
Nice. There's nothing worse than being hungry at a wedding.
I know.
So that's great to just have it rolling the whole time.
Yeah.
And yeah, can you tell me a bit about your wedding outfits and yeah, that process finding the dress?
So for my wedding dress, we went to Sydney, me, my grandma, my mum, and my sister, which was so cool. And we went to 3 boutiques there. So I kind of knew early on that I didn't want to make or design a dress. Um, I'm not I'm not a fashion designer, so I just don't think that that would work for me. And I think being able to try the dress on and envision yourself in it was really important. So um, in Sydney, yeah, we went there and I got my wedding dress from Grace Loves Lace, and it's just was perfect. And then in terms of wedding outfits, I did want to do the whole wedding outfits wardrobe, but because it was so relaxed our wedding, it kind of was just like my wedding dress. But I kind of created 3 looks out of my wedding dress. So I had the ceremony, which was the dress with the bow train, and then my veil. But my veil kind of covered my back in the bow. So it was kind of like that was my ceremony look. And then my reception look was I took off my veil and just had like the full low back with the bow exposed. And then later on into the evening, I took the bow train off, hooked my dress up so there was no train. And then I kind of had this like silk shawl, which I wore around my neck and then also as a shawl when it got like a little bit colder. So, yeah, out of one dress, I created sort of 3 looks. Which yeah was really good. And my dress was so comfortable that it was fine to wear the whole night. I know some people like want to get into a shorter, more relaxed dress, but um, yeah, I think you spend so much on your wedding dress. It's kind of like you want to wear it as long as you can. So yeah,
Nice. I love that. You look so stunning. And yeah, that's a great idea to just
yeah,
change up little bits so you don't have to take the dress off, but you can have kind of
yeah.
different looks.
Just like add some accessories in, and yeah.
And did you have a bridal party? Who was in that? And was that an easy process choosing them?
Yes, so I had my sister and then my 3 best friends. Yes, I found it very easy. Yeah, I know who my best friends are. And so I didn't even really need to tell them, like they knew they were going to be bridesmaids. So yeah, super easy for me. And my sister's also one of my best friends. So yeah, I just had my 4 best friends. So it was perfect.
So good. And how about the guest list? Did you find that hard narrowing it down?
I personally didn't, again, just because I'm just very decisive, and I know that, well, I knew that obviously the wedding day needed to be about me and Kyle, not about others. So I found it really easy. In terms of the way we did it, we were only allowed 100 people at our reception, so we literally couldn't have any more than that. So we really had to think about, who is actually in our life currently, who do we talk to regularly and hang out with, and who do we see like in our future. Um, so that was easy to narrow down our friends because we have, you know, core friend group that we talk and hang out with all the time. In terms of family, that's quite hard because if we invited our whole entire family with cousins, partners, etc., it would have been like over half of our wedding, and then we couldn't invite our close friends. So we had to narrow that down. And again, it wasn't difficult because we have the people in our family that we talk to a lot. Um, so we invited them essentially. But yeah, narrowing it down, I found it quite easy if we just sort of applied those principles. And yeah,
Yeah, that's great. Just having those questions to ask. And then if your venue has a limit as well, then it's like we can't push it. So yeah, just
exactly.
set and easy.
If it was unlimited people, unlimited budget, then I think potentially we would have just gone, oh well, invite anyone. But it wasn't. And also getting around 100 people talking to them is quite a lot. Like I feel like I'd hardly talk to anyone. Like I said hello and that was it. So I think 100 people was kind of maximum for the amount of time you need to spend with each person as well. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Any more than that, and it is just hard to even quickly say hi to them on the day. So,
No. Yeah.
and can you just tell us a bit about the big day, how it all went down, and yeah, any like highlights or favorite moments?
So the morning of was scheduled for torrential rain. So I had the worst sleep the night before. I literally woke up at like 3:45 in the morning. I had like it's not so much that I was stressed, it's just that we had to activate plan B, and we still didn't know if we had to activate that plan because it's so on and off the weather here. It's kind of like Auckland, like it could say it's going to rain, but then it doesn't. Um, so I felt like getting ready in the morning, I didn't fully enjoy as much as I would have if it was shining, beautiful sun, just because I was constantly thinking, okay, we need to go to plan B, which means we need to do this. And then the rain would stop. And I'd be like, oh, we're fine. And so it was a little bit stressful on the morning. Not stressful. I don't know. I just had a lot going on in my head. But as soon as we got to the venue, we actually ended up having it in the little church instead of the garden. Thank God we had that plan B option. So I know people don't do that sometimes. As soon as I got there, it was great. And yeah, the ceremony was just really relaxed and short and sweet. And we had drinks just inside the church foyer afterwards, which was great because, as I said, we had 35 people and we could all fit in the foyer. If we had any more, it would have been, I don't know what we would have done. Everyone would have been so cramped in this tiny church. So that was really cool. And then we went to the reception, which is obviously a restaurant. So we had no worries about the weather. So it was just super fun for the rest of the night. In terms of favorite moments, everyone asks me this. I don't really have a favorite moment. I feel like it was just all really fun. And there were definitely like little highlights, like, I don't know, that first glass of champagne after saying I do and just relaxing. I loved the photos were really fun. It stopped raining actually as we started taking photos. So it was perfect. Um, yeah, the reception was amazing. I loved like all the food and then like cutting the cake, and we had like a cocktail hour at 8. So that was really cool. And yeah, I just love the whole day really, except the morning.
Yeah, it's hard to, even if you do have that plan B, which you probably should in New Zealand, even wherever you are, it's so
I
unpredictable.
know,
But yeah,
definitely.
it's hard to not let that affect you. Yeah, in the morning, just seeing it in the whole anticipation, and especially when it's that like stop start showers, it's like, okay, what are we doing? So yeah,
Yeah.
totally understandable. And what did you find the hardest part about the whole wedding planning process? Is there anything you look back on and regret or would do a bit differently?
Probably the hardest part was just finding the venue here. Um, there's like all these traditional venues that quite a few people have their weddings at. But as I said, ours wasn't going to be traditional, and it was quite hard. We weren't sure on like how much a restaurant would cost to hire out and all of that kind of stuff. So it was kind of up in the air for quite a while. So that was it's probably the only really difficult part. In terms of regrets, I don't really have any regrets. We actually went to our friend's wedding the other weekend, and one thing I did love about their wedding is the groom and then one of our friends was the DJ, and they obviously, because they're our friends, just get the absolute vibe of the music, like they know what's going to work. Whereas at our wedding, our DJ was really great and he was, yeah, amazing, but when you have someone in your friend group DJing for your friends, it's just, yeah, I think that's the only thing. Maybe I would have asked one of my friends to DJ, but otherwise, yeah, no regrets really.
And did you guys go on honeymoon straight away? And what did planning that look like?
We actually were not going to do anything because we want to go to Europe later in the year. So we always had that plan that we'll do that later on. But then, sort of last minute, I suggested we do sort of just like a mini getaway in New Zealand just to sort of ride the high of the wedding because we're never going to have that feeling ever again. So we just ended up going to Auckland and stayed at a nice hotel there. Just went out for drinks and like out for dinner every night, which was really fun. And then we went to Raglan for a few days just to fully switch off. And yeah, so I definitely recommend if you're going to do a honeymoon later in the year, just do like a really quick mini moon, even if it's, to Queenstown or just to your beach house. Yeah, we really loved that.
Nice. Yeah, good to go somewhere local and just, yeah, keep on that high, but also just like
Yeah,
relax after it as well, not running straight off overseas.
yeah. Oh, I mean, I would have loved to jet off to Europe straight away, but couldn't.
One day soon. That's, yeah, cool to
Yeah,
have something else to look forward to as well.
Yeah.
And were there any like helpful websites, apps, or different resources that you used during the planning process? How do you find vendors, stuff like that?
No, I didn't use anything. I think again, just because it wasn't traditional, um, yeah, we didn't really need to hire anything because the reception venue had everything. Like they have the staff, they have the chefs, all of that. They have the plates, they have the glasses, like things like that. They were able to do the setup, they were able to clean everything. Like we literally like walked in and walked out, which was so highly recommend that. Um, yeah, so no, not really. Didn't use anything. Just worked with Kyle together on a little plan, and then yeah.
Nice. And did you feel any pressure from like social media or that your wedding you had to try and make it look a certain way, or you just kind of like stuck to what you want to do?
Um, no, I don't feel any pressure. Just stuck to exactly what we wanted, and yeah, I don't really feel pressure like that, which was good. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, especially working in that content space. I know some people can feel that, but yeah, it seems like you've got a really good attitude about it and just, yeah, know what you guys want, which is so good to just, yeah, focus on you and what represents you as a couple.
Yeah, that's essentially, that's what a wedding's about. It's not about
Mm.
the huge event of it. It's actually about getting married to the person you love. And so that's what we were excited about at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And do you have any advice that you would give to couples that are planning their wedding at the moment?
Just do what you want. I think there's so many expectations of a wedding, like how a traditional wedding is. Whether it's inviting all of your parents' friends or it's walking down the aisle to 150 people or whatever it is. Um, it's your wedding and it's your one day, and you are usually putting in money for it. So you need to do what you want. And I would just say don't give in to any pressures of what other people have done, what your friends have done, what your family's saying. Just do exactly what you and your husband to be want. And also, probably my other piece of advice would be, things aren't going to go 100% to plan, and you just really have to set the intention before your wedding just to accept it and move on. Because if you react badly, you're going to ruin the day for yourself, for your husband, for your guests. Like, there's just no point in doing that. Like, although the rain in the morning definitely sent my head racing a little bit just because of the plans we had to make, I really made a decision not to get annoyed and just to be super happy and get on with the day. And yeah, lots of people actually made comments about it. They were like, oh my God, I can't believe how relaxed you were when there was literally torrential rain. But yeah, I made that decision early on for it not to ruin my day. So yeah, those are my two pieces of advice.
Yeah, that's great advice. It's definitely how you react and act on the day that's kind of going to set the tone. And like,
Yeah,
there's not anything that worrying about it is going to help, really. So
no,
hard for some people to do. But yeah, if you can just focus on staying calm and kind of just like embracing going with whatever happens on the day, for sure.
exactly.
And what is married life like now? Do you feel like you got any of the post wedding blues?
Lots of people have asked me that too, but no, absolutely not. I mean, we loved our wedding day. It was amazing, but it kind of relieved that we don't have to. It's very consuming thinking about all the things because we didn't have a wedding planner or coordinator either. So we did it all. So there was just a lot of things that we had to do. So essentially, very consuming the month before leading up. So we felt quite relieved. We were like, oh, had the best time, amazing. Looking back on the memories is so fun, but it's done now and we can kind of go forward with life. So yeah, we felt relieved really. And married life, it's essentially just the same, but I just feel very content. Um, I guess before you get engaged or get married, you know it's coming, so you're kind of anticipating. Yeah, the feeling of it's coming soon. But now I don't have that anymore, and I just feel really content and happy.
That's so nice. And you've been married a little while now, but yeah, do you have any marriage or relationship advice for people?
Relationship advice would just be, I think, communication. Like, I just always say that to everyone. Like, communication is number one with everything, and including planning a wedding. So that would be my number one advice and marriage advice. I think one thing that me and Kyle do really well is we genuinely really enjoy all the small moments in life, like getting up in the morning, having a coffee together, coming home from work and seeing him I love, having dinner together, even just like watching Netflix together, we just enjoy. So enjoying those small moments, because you can have a day like your wedding, which is incredible, but I think that might be also why we didn't really have like a come down from the wedding, is because we genuinely enjoy every single day together. So coming back to normal life, I love. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, that's such great advice. And I want to ask you as well if you're happy to chat about it. I know you've just launched a new exciting brand and accessories that I feel like would be really cool for like bridesmaid gifts or
Yes.
yeah, just like cute girly things to add into your wedding. So can you tell us a little bit about how that's been and yeah, your plans if you're happy to chat about it?
Yeah, me and my best friend had been sort of working on it since almost before COVID. I think it was before COVID, but we put it on hold for quite a while just because we had so many life changes. She moved to LA, I moved cities, like it was just all go. But in the past couple of years, we sort of started working on it again. But we both have full time jobs, so there's so much work with setting up a new business. If we didn't have anything else to do, we could have done it quite quickly. But yeah, we both have full time jobs, so it took us a while. But obviously, we've launched now. We've actually sold out, which was crazy in the first. I think it was like 20, almost 24 hours, which was so cool. And yeah, I've definitely thought about it being like in bridal. I put them in my bridesmaids baskets, a little heart claw clip. Um, so I think that could be definitely something for the future. But going forward, we're working on our next drop, which we have quite a cool theme in mind. Like, essentially, our brand, we're doing hair accessories, but we wanted it to be really themed, so it's exciting and keeping up with the trends. Um, and we wanted to start off with limited drops so we could kind of gauge the appetite, which obviously there is one, which is so cool. So yeah, we're planning on our next collection, hoping for May, but we'll see.
So
It's
cool. We'll
exciting.
definitely,
Yeah,
yeah, link to that for people to check out as well. I'm excited to get my hands on some, but it sounds like you need to be in quick as well. It's
you
already
do.
super popular, which is
Yeah,
cool. And yeah, definitely something people can incorporate in their like gifts or wedding stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, so great to chat to you today. Is there anything else you want to add as we wrap up or say to engage people listening?
Um, no, I just think reiterate the point that it's your wedding, so your wedding needs to be for you and not for anyone else. Um, So yeah, just do what you and your husband want and you'll have the best day ever.
Great advice. So cool. Lovely to chat to you.
Thanks so much. This was so fun. Definitely to relive those moments.